I'm building a Mclaren from Temu.
I spent just £20,000 on this Mclaren that's been crashed 4 times, been upside down and had a bad engine. And I wanted to give this car a new lease of life, which is why I bought this body kit from Temu for more than the price of the car. Once we got it test fitted, we could get it painted in this custom candy orange. But we want to give this car performance to match its new look, so we sent the engine off to Ricky at RE Performance, where he completely rebuilt it and strengthened it.
Which after months of hard work, we got the engine and gearbox in, we got the new exhaust on, and after coding in the new ECU, it finally fired up. But to get this car back on the road, there's still a long way to go. We need to get coolant in it, we need a roof, new brakes, an interior, rear suspension, and of course, body panels. There's plenty of jobs to do, and there's a long way to go before we can drive this car for the first time. The most important thing we need to do is run this engine up to temperature, and that means getting coolant in it.
But what we didn't realise when it came to this car is the complications it was going to give us. Even though we've come so far from where we started, we're about to enter the most complicated stage of this project.
Stop.
And we're going to find out exactly why so many mechanics don't want to touch these cars.
So I've already fitted the correct attachment for our vacuum thing on top here, but we need to get everything plumbed underneath. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 pipes that go on and an electrical connector, and then it can bolt onto the bracket which holds it. Let's do it.
So we can bolt up our brand new coolant header tank to finish off the coolant system for this McLaren.
We have got our new expansion tank on and our fitting for our pressure tester. So the first thing we'll do before we even try and put any fluids in it, pump it full of air, and then we'll see if we have any leaks. Hopefully we can identify them if we do.
So we can put on the hand attachment, but when I realised the size of this system, this was going to take me forever. So we just pumped some air in with the airline, which very quickly identifies a problem.
Good. So where's that coming out of? Because I can hear it.
Coming out the radiator itself.
I can hear another one down here, I can feel it. This one's open, that one's not in there.
So one of the bleed screws on the charge cooler was open, so we could tighten that up, but there was still an issue.
Well, it turns out we've got a leak in the back of this radiator. The original one that came off the car, I don't know if it got damaged in us taking it off, I don't know if it got damaged in storage, or if it was already damaged. Whatever the case is, it's leaking. So before we even try and fill it with coolant, we need to replace it. I've found a second-hand one for 70 quid, which is worth the gamble, I say, and we've ordered that, and we'll check back in when it's here. We brought the ice blasters back again for the 3rd time for this car, is it?
We should just stay here.
Yeah. To make sure that everything on this is absolutely mint before we start bolting all these little bits on, and it's just giving it that last little bit. We've already done the frame once, the gearbox once, the engine once. Yeah, this is just an all-over final last go to make sure it is looking. So it's over to them. Let's see how nice they can make it.
So thank you so much to the ice blasters for not only coming once, twice, but 3 times to clean this McLaren using the dry ice cleaning system. Dry ice is a fantastic chemical-free cleaning method to make sure that the car's going to look spot on. It's going to remove all of the old oils, debris, grease, any of the nasty stuff to make sure this car looks brand new underneath. And now that it is looking as best as it possibly can, it's time to start bolting on some of the new bits.
You've seen the ceramic brakes that we've got, wherever they are. They're off an Artura, and even though they do mount up to the factory mounting points for these brakes, there is 2 problems. Number 1, handbrake caliper bracket bolts. We've had to just get machined down slightly, which we've done with Bob at the machine shop. Shouts out to him. And also the same on this bracket on the back of the caliper here, but also the brake lines. Now the ones that came with the car look like this, so have a big rip in them. Nay good. We got a new set with the ceramic brakes like this. These are the new ones which we got with the brakes, and we thought, oh perfect, these will plumb straight up. Turns out not the case. So this side obviously goes onto the caliper perfectly, but this side is too small for the fitting that's on the car. Now, bit of a nightmare. And sometimes some companies charge mega money for these. They can be like £100 each. But again, shouts out to my locals, a place called Bondon and Reline in Leicester. They have made us a pair of full braided brake lines, basically for the rear, £40.
Nice.
bargain, absolute bargain. They're not anything, you know, braided lines aren't anything special. I don't understand why all these big companies can charge massive money for them when they are just a piece of pipe. I think now we've got far enough with this car that we can actually look at fitting these brakes. And obviously one of the problems we had with them before was the colour didn't match the car. They'd be the wrong shade of orange and look all funny. And thankfully now, they look like this. These look really, really good. Now what we can do is get all 4 of these with our fresh new brake lines fitted to the car.
So it's off with the old manky steel brakes and the old calipers, which are all faded. And while these parts were off, it made sense now to fit the new rear tie rods too. And then I can very carefully fit the new ceramic discs, which now also clear the handbrake carrier bolts. But one of the handbrake calipers was damaged in the crash, so needs replacing.
Now this is off the 650S. These are obviously off my car. We've checked, these are the correct pads, we believe, for the carbon ceramics, and we're not sure about these. So even though these are slightly meatier, we're going to swap out for these and also change out some of the hardware, which is a bit cleaner too, and get this fitted.
And now that the new handbrake caliper's on, it's time for the main brake caliper. Now, even though these are off an Artura, they're shared with the 720S, so are definitely an upgrade over the standard 650S brakes. And once we got all 4 fitted, it was time to bleed the brakes with Fuchs Pro Race 320 fluids, and these were ready to rock.
Our new radiator is now here. It was fairly cheap. It's, you know, not brand new or anything, but we've pressure tested it, and this one should hold. So we're going to swap everything from this one over to this one, get it back on the car and try again.
So we can now fit up our new radiator. And put some coolant in the car for the first time.
Oh, hang on.
Have we got
Yeah, we got a leak.
Yay! That's good news.
Yeah.
So there's some on the... Oh wait, I found it. Well easy.
Huh?
I found it. Here.
Oh, there's a hole in the pipe.
There's a split in the pipe. You see where it's leaking from?
Yeah.
Everyone see that?
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. Right, to get around that for now, whilst we're waiting for the new one, we're going to make up a little joiner, and Mickey is going to take you through how he's going to do it. Straight across the cut, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Ready?
Go.
More
Nice.
straight through. Do you want me to take off the broken bit as well? That's a lovely one.
To save this pipe popping off, I'm going to get this little socket and flange the edges up both sides, so when we clip it, nothing comes off.
Nice. I'd like to stress, this is only for now, so we can actually get some coolant in it whilst we're waiting for the new pipe, which is going to be 4 to 5 days, they said, so.
One flanged bit of alley pipe. Well, there's nothing coming out.
Not yet.
But Mickey had jinxed it and we had another leak on the Mclaren.
Really going for it, isn't it?
So what?
There's nothing like visually wrong with it. Luckily we've got a box full of O-rings. Do you reckon that's how it's supposed to be and that's why it's like...
Yeah, it
What do you
looks a
reckon
bit
it's that
flat.
one? Do you reckon it's that one? No. We've got enough to pick from. I can just see...
Oh look, we've got some big fatties
Yeah,
here.
they're too fat. Even though it looks full, it ain't full, it's lying to you. There's definitely air stopping the system filling up properly, so what we're going to have to do, I think, is just run it. Bleed it the old-fashioned way because we're ill-prepared and not equipped enough. Where's the key? Right, where the suspension lines go, because we haven't got our suspension all the rest of the lines yet, we've just put a bucket and 2 cups. Hopefully that's going to do the job. It sounds nuts, doesn't it? It sounds like you're starting a plane.
But even after all that waiting and all those new parts, we still had a coolant leak on the car, and it wasn't where we wanted to see it from. The new radiator that I bought for the passenger side had a pinhole leak in it, which means that this radiator is no good and needs replacing again, and I'm getting fed up with it.
This radiator, yeah, it's obviously not good from the front, but also not that good from the back. There's a lot of residue and spray coming from the fans and underneath. You can see it's kind of dripping here, there and everywhere, so hopefully the eBay seller will give me my money back. It wasn't loads, to be fair, but yeah, it's the principle, isn't it? It's nice to buy something when it's actually working. So we'll see what happens.
And I want this car to be as reliable as possible, and it's becoming clear that the radiators are the weak point of the cooling system, so even replacing one at the price of £1,000 doesn't solve the whole issue, because the other side is probably the same. But after so much messing around with it, it's time to bulletproof this cooling system, and I think I've got a good way to do it, but we can check back on how I do that later in the video. The most challenging part with any project is getting it fault-free. It's never going to be easy. And that's why it's important to understand your car and be able to communicate with it properly. And there is no better way to do that than using OBD11. And it couldn't be much simpler to use. Just take the device, pop it into the car's OBD2 port, connect with the app, then with a push of a button you can scan every single module on your car for faults. Now bear in mind, this works best for BMWs, Minis, VAG Group cars, Toyota, Lexus and Rolls-Royce, but it can do basic diagnostics for any car fitted with an OBD2 port. As you can see, my BMW M3 actually has 0 faults thanks to all the time we've spent diagnosing it using OBD11. But we can also do so much more than that, because with those cars that are listed, we can also turn on cool one-touch applications and features using the app. Now there's all sorts of cool features that we can turn on. We can turn on things like video in motion, start-stop memory, so the car remembers the last position the start-stop button was in, meaning that if you want to turn it off, it stays off. We can also turn off seatbelt warnings, all sorts of cool stuff like this. One of my favourite features which I like on all my cars is the acoustic confirmation. Now this activates on this car a box on the multimedia screen, which we can then go on here and turn on. So now, when I get out the car and lock it, we can now hear that the car's locked, and you know then that your pride and joy is going to be safe. So if you want to turn on loads of cool features on your car, take over diagnostics yourself, make sure to go and check out OBD11 using the link in the description, and make sure to use discount code SLIX20. This is the biggest discount you can get on these devices, and it's going to save you 20% off all of their packages apart from the device on its own. So thank you OBD11 for sponsoring this video and helping us to build cool cars. Let's get back to fixing this McLaren. But now it's time for the suspension, and I've got to admit I don't know much about it.
What I do know is there's 3 pipes which we've got to plumb in. There's 2 here and 1 just here. So we're going to take these things off for now and replace them with our new bits of pipe which we've got here. 1, 2 and 3.
Now these McLarens work off the most complicated suspension system I've ever seen. It's all hydraulic and really complicated. So I can try and fit up these new pipes that I've got, but something doesn't quite seem right.
Now the only complication we've got is obviously I've fitted these pipes and these are exactly where they should go, but these ones that come from the car don't line up, which means that we've routed these ones wrong. So now I've got to reroute those.
So my first idea is we got this routed wrong, so I tried moving the pipe that comes from the body to the inside of the frame, thinking that this would solve the issue.
Okay. We've figured out this pipe situation. There's 2 part numbers for these hydraulic pipes on this car. One for with nose lift and one for without. My car has lift, but it's not nose lift, it's just lift. And there's only 2 sets for sale in the world, as far as I can see on the internet. One in Australia, one in America, so I can't get one here second hand. And for McLaren, £3,000. which there is no way I'm paying that. So we're trying to find a way around it. At the moment, we've chopped off some other bits of pipe that we've got to figure out what fittings these are. We're just trying to map out and plan out, using the pictures of the other ones, how exactly they work. So hopefully we can take them to a hydraulic hose place and get them made up for a fraction of what McLaren want for them. And they should be equally as good quality. It's just making sure, like, it's up to us to make sure that we get it right so everything works as it should and routes as it should, which is more complicated than you think for some reason, but it'd be much nicer actually if we had the original hoses, wouldn't it?
It would.
But someone chucked them out. That's me.
I didn't get the blame this time.
I did chuck them out. I made a big mistake. But yeah, we're just trying to work it out at the moment, and then hopefully I can get some new ones made up. That's the plan.
Sounds like a £3 mistake, that does.
Next job on the McLaren is, well, because we're trying to get it so it's ready to drive. We want to drive this car very, very soon. And one thing that we're missing is suspensions. And that's because, well, I did actually buy some. Where is it? I got this. And we bought this way earlier in the build, and we thought it was all good. One of them turned out to be bent, quite obviously when we got it. Luckily we got some money back from the people we bought it from for that, because we bought some other bits with it. But it turns out the other side is bent as well, which is great. Now, when I did some digging into this car, it turns out it's annoyingly quite well spec'd, and it's got like full car lift, so it lifts the car up and down and you get speed bumps and stuff like that. And that means if I'm going to replace this, I need to replace it with that as well, which makes it more expensive and even less available. So I've hunted and hunted and hunted second hand. I cannot find replacements. I've looked in for options for repairing these bent ones, and basically in the time frame that we need to do it, it's just not going to be feasible. So I've had to bite the bullet, and I've had to go to McLaren and buy new. It hurt, I promise. I don't even want to talk about how much it was, but we've got it. I had to do it, no choice. But at least it's fresh, at least it's new, at least it's going to be perfect. So
now I've bitten the bullet and spent the full money on brand new rear suspension for this car because there was none available second hand. It is just a case of bolting it in, which is really simple and does solve every issue we had. It just hurt my wallet.
good news! We have now got back our new radiators for the McLaren because we kept having problems earlier in the video, as you might remember, with the standard ones that we kept buying second hand, and to buy them new was more expensive than it was to get these ones custom made, and I'm really bloody happy with them. So instead of going for the plastic end capped McLaren ones, I don't know what I'm saying at this point, it's going to help with cooling. It's going to be better than the factory ones. Ooh, better. Right, so this is the passenger side one. The only difference between the two is one has a slightly different bracket. So that means this is this side. So I'm going to build up this rad pack now and hopefully put these on for the last time. Right now.
So I mentioned earlier in the video I was going to bulletproof this cooling system, and the way I'm going to do that is with these custom made ones from a company local to me. So once I've got the aircon condenser fitted to it and the fan, we can then install that on the car, and fingers crossed this is going to be the last of the cooling leaks we have.
Now they look a lot better, don't they? Now, I know what some of you are thinking, like, did it work out more expensive to do both of them rather than just change this one for a new one? Which, yes, it did, but obviously this one had gone, that one was very used anyway, so it's just like a ticking time bomb. At least now we know for less than the price I would have paid from McLaren, I've got two fresh radiators, they're going to perform better, everything's better, and that's no longer a weak point of the cooling system, so hopefully should be solid for a long, long time. So yes, it was a bit more expensive, but for the peace of mind, so worth it.
And now both the new radiators are on, we can put coolants in the car and also try and finish off the rest of the fluids for this car, because we've finally got back our new hydraulic pipes, which we had custom made to replace the McLaren ones. So I can get these bolted up to the suspension and also the pipes which come off the car. Right, we have our new fancy suspension lines on, thanks to the guys at Hydroquip. Guys, or his name was Guy actually, he was a bit of a legend, so yeah, big shouts out for him. I only paid £280 for these rather than £3,000, which it was from Mclaren, so less than 10%. And also now we've got fittings, which means that hopefully we can fill it here rather than needing the special Mclaren tool. So win-win-win, all braided, all hydraulic, special grade stuff, so should do the job absolutely perfect. But we're going to find out right now because we're going to try and fill the suspension, which is something I've never done before, and well, we're about to find out how it's done. Word. Now, because this is a process I've never done before and I want to make sure I get it right, because to get it wrong could be a very expensive mistake. We had Tom from EAS Supercars come down along with Dips from P1 Auto Keys, so together they can make sure that this is done perfectly.
So this is the fluid we need. This is the stuff that McLaren use in McLaren, what's the word?
Dealership.
Dealership, yeah, something like that. So it's Fuchs CHF 202. So it's the genuine fluid, and we're going to put this in because this is what they use and this is the good stuff. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
We've got some fluid in the front, we've got the exhaust on, we've got some coolant in it. It's time to fire it up. Probably going to open the door as well actually. Good idea. Yeah, I don't fancy perishing today. So the first thing is bleeding the power steering, so Dips is locking it side to side at the moment, while Tom's just topping it up. Then the back bit, well, the other bit is the suspension, which I think works off the same fluid, and that's a bit more complicated, so we'll come back to that in a sec.
So me and Mickey were manning the cooling system as we were still bleeding that, but Tom was at the back, using a vacuum system to essentially suck out the fluid at the same time to make sure we can remove all of the air bubbles out of it. And whilst we were all doing that, Dips was on the computer manning the programming side of things, turning on the system to let the car know that we're bleeding the suspension.
Go on. We've got a leak. We've got a leak. Oh dear. I think I forgot to tighten that up. Yeah, that's how we bleed it, right? That's the process. Yep. That looking better?
Yeah, that is big helpful.
Yeah, nice. I've also gone and bought this. This should help with the bleeding process because this is the air con and heater control panel for the door. But we can plug this in for now and hopefully get some lights on there.
So with the coolant system getting better and better, and with the hydraulics for the suspension now bled up, we can also calibrate the spoiler, which means fitting that up, and it's on to the next jobs.
Okay, right. I think now we have done as much as we can. What we need to do now is start the final assembly. So there's a way we're going to do that, and that is start at the front and work our way backwards. Now there is still some electrical bits which we need to sort, which we're going to work through along the way, starting off in here, because we've got broken wires and broken wires. But fortunately, to fix that, I have a complete Mclaren 650S Spider loom. Only one plug on it's damaged, and it cost me the grand total of £100. Now this is going to be worth its weight in gold, because we've got a lot of electrical connectors on the car, which are damaged. Sorry. So we're going to nick all of those off here. And in order to get this on, we've got our master electrician, McLaren technician, Dips from P1 Auto Keys here. So we're going to lay this out now, figure out where's where, and start swapping some of these plugs over so we can get this car together, hopefully for the final time. Yes, let's do it.
That is what we're needing.
So yeah, so that's one of them, that's one of them.
And
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So what we'll do is we'll chop the wiring, we'll chop the wires from here.
Yep.
Solder it onto the car loom itself, and then that will be that side done. There is some wires on the back that we need to still do as well.
There is, yes.
Plenty of fuses.
Yeah, we'll nickel them, put in our electric. I can't even speak. We'll nick all of those and put them in our electrical box.
They're literally exactly the same.
So you saying McLaren get their plugs from Amazon?
Yeah, they buy their plugs from Amazon.
I wonder if they get them on Prime or not.
Yeah, next day delivery. That is literally exactly
the same, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the Amazon one.
This is it?
That's the McLaren one.
No, is it the other way around?
No. That's the McLaren one.
Look, because this one's warm.
Look,
that one's cold.
Let me show you. Look at the markings.
Yeah, that one's more.
Oh yeah. So sorry.
Oh, I can tell the difference. Right.
They're the same.
So we bought this from McLaren. This is the ambient air temp sensor, and it comes exactly like this with this little plug here. So obviously you pin it yourself, put it on the car, fit it, good to go. But Dips has spotted that the plug it comes with is exactly the same as his Amazon special kit. So yeah, cheapskates. That cost me £100 as well.
There we go. Clipped in, beautiful.
So before we can start bolting this car back together, the wiring repairs are the last thing that needs to be done. So Dips is going to take all the plugs which we need off this new loom that we've got and solder those into the old one, which is currently fitted to the car, which is hopefully going to fix every single electrical fault that we have.
We had the wires for the alarm the wrong way round. I think they're the right way round now.
We'll leave it outside for...
That's still going when it's unplugged.
Battery back up.
Ah, that's so loud. Hopefully it doesn't do that all the time, because if it does, that's really irritating.
Yeah. What we'll do, we'll wait for the battery to drain out a little bit, and then we'll reconnect it back up again, and then we'll have to lock it, unlock the door, basically unlatch the door, and then that should reset it.
Right, that means we can get the front end finished off and start putting this back together.
And this is the moment we've been building up to for so long. This car has been looking bare and naked, but now it's time to fit up the 675 LT body kit from Temu in its paint so we can see it in its full glory. That is after some final finishing touches. And whilst I was doing these, Dips went around the back of the car and finished off the rest of the wiring repairs which needed doing there.
Brake pad sensor wiring is all done.
And the wiring is complete, and we are now ready, I think, to start bolting this front end together. Obviously we've already got the bonnet on, which is working flawlessly, but now we need to line up the wings, we need to bond on the wing brackets, test fit the bumper, make sure that's all good. We haven't actually seen it with the new headlights in yet. So yeah, hopefully, very shortly, we're going to see a much more complete Mclaren. I'll start with the wing, I guess, shall I? McLaren. Front end is midway on, and whilst Dips is still here, we still need to do a couple of bits with him. We need to calibrate the suspension so it goes up and down like it should. We need to try and do the spoiler, bunch of the other features. We just need to try and get as much work in as possible. Reminds me of those like crazy straws you had when you was a kid. You go, whoa! I say as a kid, I still got one now. We changed the accumulators on the front, by the way. We've done that off camera because it's pretty boring, but I'll tell you what, I'll actually show you because it's not that boring. One of these is good, and it turns out one of them is bad, and if these are bad, then it causes problems with the suspension.
This one here is the driver's side one, and as you can see, the screwdriver only goes so far in, goes to there. That means that that one is most likely good. This is the passenger side one, and are you ready? To the deck, which means it's bad, and that's why we changed the accumulators. It's like a wear and tear part on the Mclaren suspension, and if it fails, headaches. So now we've got brand new suspension on the rear, including 2 new accumulators, and the original suspension on the front with also new accumulators. So hopefully, if this is all bed up right, we should be good for a while.
What we're doing now is we're going to do a suspension calibration on it, just to make, because the actuator has been changed on it. We just need to make sure that everything's right. We've sorted all the fluids and everything out. Now we just need to do a calibration on it. So we'll get that done, and then we can move on to the next stage, and hopefully the car should go. I'm just going to check the powertrain as well, the PCCU and chassis control module. We'll just read all the faults on that, and hopefully. Oh, it's got a lot of faults. I've cleared all the faults, and the only fault that's coming up now is the air brake strategy failure, but we haven't calibrated the rear spoiler yet, so that might just be to do with that. But I'm just going to try and see if we can calibrate the suspension again. Hey, it's going up. Yeah, it's going down at the back, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's really going now. Going down? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's doing it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's getting quicker as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's going down. Beautiful. Love it when a plan comes together.
Front end is now on and looking brilliant, but we want to start looking at paneling up the rest of the car. And the most important bit I think to do next, because we're working in this direction, is going to be the roof. Now this is quite key and quite important to the car. One, so your head doesn't get wet, but two, because obviously the car's a convertible, we need to be able to see if we can actually put the roof up and down, because we've not seen that yet. So we're going to start with what I believe is pronounced as the tonneau cover at the back, then start with the panels, and then maybe see if we can send the roof through its cycle and go up and down. Now the roof is not an easy system to understand, but what we do know is the parts that came off it. So we can bolt up the tonneau cover, which is the section at the back. And then bolt the roof frame to that. And then it was on to fitting the other roof panels. We've decided just to fit the front one whilst we're getting it all set up to try and avoid any panels getting damaged from not being aligned properly. For now, we can fold away the roof manually whilst we fit the windscreen surround seal. Then we can pop it back up and make sure everything's fitting nice.
This little bolt here, I reckon we could just undo that, fill it up with juice, and then give her a go. I would assume that it's got the same fluid as the suspension.
I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a hydraulic pump and it's not doing anything like a crazy job. It's a hydraulic fluid, but we will use the suspension stuff because we've got loads of it left.
Yeah.
Do you reckon this will go in there?
She has a little rubber seal on it. It's going in.
I'll give it a gentle squeeze.
Yeah.
And now we've got the pump filled up with fluid, it's time to give the roof a try. Continue roof cycle operation. Okay. Whoa!
Yeah?
Did it just soak my back? Or was it
No, I think it just built pressure.
Oh, that scared me.
Oh, the roof moved.
Right, that's gone up, go on. Keep going. Right, now go downwards.
Okay. Roof operation in progress, it says.
Apparently it's in progress. Half full now, so it's obviously drank a bit of fluid again.
The fact that the tornado cover went right back,
Yeah.
tells me that, right, it's ready for the roof to go back down.
Yeah, the roof moved. This bit of roof moved as well at the
Did it
same
go like
time.
this? Just like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We also tried filling up the pump whilst running it as well to see if this would help bleed it.
Oh, we are getting them drip, aren't we?
does that need nipping out?
I'd imagine so.
Remember, we've put a new roof on this because of the damage from the car, so that's why this is more complicated than just turning it on.
How much is this going to spurt at me?
It shouldn't do.
Oh yeah, because it's leaking. It should be leaking air as well, shouldn't it? That one looks alright.
Might have not been seated properly.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
So we've got a leak in the pump to try and fix, and we suspect one of the O-rings is faulty. Luckily we've got loads left over from the old roof, so we can swap out a fresh one, and fingers crossed that sorts the issue.
Well, what we've had to do is, the seals that were in there, the original seals, didn't seem to work. We've tried some O-rings out of our kind of like universal kit. They didn't work. We've put both together, and now the pipes are solid, and it's not leaking. So it's a bodge, but it's not a bodge if it works, right?
Well, no, because there's seals in there.
They were double sealed.
Double sealed.
Feel the drive. Feel the drive.
So now that's fixed, we can start bolting on some other parts for the roof. One part we're missing was the latches for the front.
Oh.
It latched properly, didn't it?
Yeah. It's not unlatching though.
No.
But the roof still wasn't working properly. Something is definitely not right. We then manually folded down the roof and somehow seemed to get the tonneau cover opening and closing, but the rest of the roof still wouldn't work properly. The latches were on but wouldn't disconnect.
I need to lift it up. Oh, I'm locked.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm locked in there at all.
Well, we got it to do something.
Yeah, we're getting there.
And stepped forward.
So now it seems like we need the big guns. Dips has come round to plug into the car to see if there's an obvious reason why the roof ain't working properly, and see maybe if it's something simple like just needing calibrating.
I was not ready for that. It came up fast, didn't it?
And even though we ran through the calibrations and everything seems okay, we were still only getting part way with the roof cycle off the button.
It's just not doing anything, is it? Oh, we've got a big leak. Big leak.
Okay, that's where our problem is.
That'll be a problem. Yes.
Yes.
Let's fix that. Leak in the hydraulic pump for the roof is fixed. Fingers crossed we can get that working in a second. With Dips's help, he's just doing some cleanup on some electrical bits because he's worried that they might fail. But for now, we're multitasking because we've got AGM windscreens here and they are doing us the windscreen for the Mclaren right now. This is not a genuine screen. The genuine screen was £3 grand. This one was on like an eBay seller, but it's a replica one for 1,400 quid. Archie reckons it's not the best quality, but it will do the job. Let's see how it fits.
So now the lads have got the windscreen fitted and the front end's looking a lot better for it. We can now turn our attention back to the roof, which is still causing us problems.
One of the hydraulic pipes, we must have just nicked it or something when we were putting it in, and the, how to describe, it's got like a collar on it which pins it in place, and that is slightly damaged. So luckily, because we replaced this roof, we've still got the old one, and we're going to take the pipe off that one, so then everything is
functioning again. Fingers crossed, next time it will hold pressure. So even more problems with the spider roof on the McLaren. So now we need to swap out one of the pipes because one of the ends have become damaged. So we can do that by taking off the old roof and fitting it to the new one.
Set Cobra position.
Oh, whoa, stop. It's stuck. Whoa.
It sounded crunchy.
So can we get the roof back to up?
Yes. That was scary. That sounded disgusting.
It didn't sound good, did it?
Is everything okay? Oh no.
What's it done?
It's all cracked.
No. Okay.
Unless one part was trying to lift and the other part was latched, do you think? That made everything funny. This roof is still clearly not happy. One side was latched and it caused the whole roof to crack when it was trying to force itself up. But we can't figure out for the life of us what this problem is. It's so intermittent and sporadic.
I just don't get it. It don't make sense, does it?
But if we can't get to the bottom of this fault, I'm never going to be able to use this car. But we tried everything we possibly could, but still didn't find a solution. The roof really isn't going to plan. We've kind of parked it overnight and had a think about it, slept on it, and thought the car probably just needs as much stuff on it as we can possibly get. Obviously we've had the casualty of the roof panel, which is going to need repainting, but for now it's going to work for us to get it in position. So we're going to get it all working, hopefully, and then we'll take that off and get it repainted. But like I said, we need to get as much stuff on this car as we can. So we've got the other door back on, so that's now ready to rock and fully functional, as you can see. So that's one thing. We have a bit of wiring on the way to be able to get the last bit of that loom in that door sorted, so that should help that out. But we also need to finish off on the front end because we've got the bumpers on, the wings, we've got the bonnet on, we've got the wiring all done for that. Everything now plug-wise is sorted in here, but we need the bumper. We are now going to get prepared, get ready to get that on, and then we can actually see how this entire front end is going to look in its painted form. To avoid damaging the wings or the bumper, we just put a bit of masking tape on there to protect the edges and try and fit it up for the first time. Now, although we've already test fitted this body kit once, we haven't fitted it up with absolutely everything, like the headlights, the bumper foams and all that sort of stuff. And it seemed like it was clashing with the bumper support, so we can trim this back and then try again. Round 2.
Bite!
With those adjustments made, we can now get the bumper on, and it does fit. But in order to get it fitting perfectly, there's still going to be a lot of work to do. Does look pretty cool.
Brilliant, doesn't it? Yeah.
I was going to swear, but yeah, it does look pretty good. Maybe that needs some work.
Yeah. We'll have a bit of cracking around to it.
Yeah, it looks so sick, man. It's going to take some work to get it right, but it looks so good. But now the front end's on and we can start to fit up the driver's door. Now some of the glass was covered in scratches and overspray, so gave that a polish up before it can go in. Once that's in, all that's left to do is test it to make sure it works properly, but we've still got one big problem because the roof still isn't playing ball. We've gave ourselves the positive boost getting the front end on, but the roof still ain't working. Now we've got one hope that it's down to something so simple because we're missing one piece of the door loom which connects to the window switch. Now if that then controls the window and then the roof can't see that the window's dropped to then allow the roof to come down, is that going to be stopping it? Even though the windows work and they work individually with that section of loom that we've got for one side, we can't use it on both sides at the same time, so we need that extra piece. Now annoyingly, from Mclaren it's on back order, like an indefinite one, so we don't know when we'd ever get it, and it's 200 quid for a bit of wire like that. But thankfully, I've done hunting, a lot of it, and finally managed to find a section of loom which is exactly what we need for the driver's side. Even better, it's only 35 minutes away from the unit, so it's now Friday. It's normally the time when everyone would be going home and going to the pub, but we are going up there to go and get that piece to see if we can make that roof work. Package is secured. So on this side, we have
this one, part number 11M0625CP, and on this one we've got 11M0624CP. So we've got passenger side and driver's side. The fact that there was only one of these for sale and it was on complete back order and it was within 30 minutes of the unit, nuts. Like, what's the odds of that? I can plug this one in here. Okay, window button in, climate control button in. New loom, and it's brand new as well.
Oh, it's on.
Oh yes it is. And it works, beautiful. This is it. I hope this works. Continue roof cycle operation, here we go.
So this is it. We've tried practically everything to get this roof working. We're down to the final part. Everything on the car is now plugged in, so it doesn't think there's anything missing. This has been the longest we've spent trying to get a single part in a car working, and it's been painful. And on top of that, this has been the most in-depth and longest project that we've done on the channel. I've invested thousands and thousands of pounds, and the whole team's put in so many hours to try and get this car right. But this is it. We're now on to the last thing that we can think to try to get this roof working, and if we can get it working, we can push forward with the project. If we can't, we're stuck.
Roof failure.
Why don't you start it and try it started?
Okay. It's still not working. We've now got everything plugged in. Do you know what's weird now though? That's not even trying,
Yeah. It's not something simple like the fuse has popped. Because it's like you say, it just seems weird that it was completely working and now the pump's not even working.
Yeah, it's not even trying, is it? It's got to be worth checking the fuses now, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems really weird that it stopped working.
It's not even trying, is it? So I keep saying the most annoying part is it was sort of working and now it's just completely stopped. Did you hear that? I'm going to pull out.
Yeah.
So that's working.
Continue cycle.
Open doors to complete roof operation. Roof failure. It's annoying because it looks immaculate. Let's give it a go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Me too.
If failure goes to Mclaren. And then it's saying continue straight after.
I know, it's like it wants to do it.
Just force everything back to where I want, well, back to open. Let's see if that makes a difference.
Continue roof cycle operation. Okay, roof failure. I don't really know what to say at this point. Like, it was working-ish, and then we had some success, but it wasn't fully working, and now it's just not even trying at all, is it? And we've tested everything, looked at everything, and can't see a reason why. And I really don't know how we're going to fix it. If you've got any ideas, please let me know. We really need your help. But if you enjoyed this video and you're excited about seeing this car finally back on the road, hopefully, make sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I'll catch you next time.